Yeah, waking up early and I'm going to work out. And depending on what's going on that day, if I have an early flight, I might work out for 8 minutes, right? I might go in and do 2,000 meters on the rower, get a sweat going hard as I can, and then I'm done. And because I got to go catch a flight. So that could be happening. Maybe I'm supposed to go surfing in the morning. I wake up, the waves are terrible. And so now I've got nothing to do. I planned out, to be surfing for 2 or 3 hours. And now I'm not going to go surfing. So I'm going to go lift and I'm going to go play in the gym and do a bunch of stuff. And I'm going to spend 2 or 3 hours in there. I love doing that. So the workout could be anywhere between, what I just say, 8 minutes and 3 hours. And it could be anything in between. I fully enjoy the physical aspect of working out. So if I have more time to spend in the gym, I'll spend it. I remember my dad saying at one point, if I retired, I wouldn't know what to do. And I was thinking to myself, are you serious right now? If I didn't have anything to do, I'd spend 6 hours a day in the gym. I'd spend 4 hours doing jujitsu. Like I could fill my day. I could fill every day with just physical activity, things that I just like doing. So wake up early, get a sweat going. And do I lift? Yes. Do I do cardio? Yes. Do I run? Yes. Do I sprint? Yes. Do I lift heavy weights? Yes. Do I swing kettlebells? Yes. I do everything and anything, and I enjoy all of it. And I'm not really good at any of it. I'm not really good at any one aspect of physical activity. There's people that are infinitely better at me in every aspect of, and I'm not just talking about, oh, this guy's a world-class lift. No, there's like a guy named Fred down at the gym that can deadlift more than me. There was a guy, when I was at SEAL Team 2, there was a guy who was probably 5'7", and he looked kind of chubby, and he was older than me, and he could run faster than me, and he could bench more than me.
When did jiu-jitsu, Jocko?
There's a lot of technique in arm wrestling.
I have to imagine they're putting their body behind it. They're putting their
it's
back
not just
in.
that. Like there's legitimate technique in arm wrestling.
There's hope for me yet.
Yeah, like if we could bring a female arm wrestler in here that knows how to arm wrestle, because I don't know how to arm wrestle either, and she would beat both of us. Because there's a lot more technique in arm wrestling than most people recognize. There's all these little games that are going on. There's all this little arm position that you get. So just like everything else, it's technique. There's a lot of technique in arm wrestling. So I write down what I do, and I write down what I do every day. And that way I can go back and say, what was I doing back then? Because I might go through some phase where I'm trying to do more pull-ups, or I'm trying to deadlift more, and I'm trying, or whatever the thing is, I'll go back into, because I get bored of deadlifting after a while. And let's face it, if you just want to be a good deadlifter, you're not going to be that fast, right? You're going to be slow on long runs. So you don't want to go too deep into deadlifting, and you also don't want to be so good at long runs that you can't deadlift, a good amount of weight. So I kind of go through phases, and I'll get into something for a while, and then I'll get into something else. So I do log down what I'm doing, so I can look back and say, oh dang, I'm not even close to as strong as I used to be. Need to get back to that. Right? There's no way I can sit here and say, oh yeah, every day that alarm clock goes off and I'm like, oh yeah, let's rock and roll. Certainly that's not the case. It's also certainly not the case that every day I'm like, oh God, not again. No, I'd say most of the time the alarm clock goes off and I don't think a bunch. Like when my alarm clock goes off, I don't think a bunch. I don't debate with myself. I'm not negotiating. The thing goes off and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Sort of robotic. Now, this much I can say. When you go and work out, you're going to feel better. You will get energy from working out. That is a guarantee. If you go work out, you're going to feel better. If you go break a sweat, you're going to feel better. You're going to get more energy from it. And look, you got to go really, really hard to where now you feel more tired when you're done. And even that, you got to go psycho. I'll do that occasionally, but I don't do that on a daily basis. At the end of a day, if I wake up, lift, run, surf, and then I do jujitsu in the afternoon, like at the end of that day, I'm tired and I feel tired. But normal day, working out just makes you feel better. It definitely gives me energy, I should say, because I guess I'm not everybody.